On a cold December day in 2017, 19-year-old Natalie Bollinger vanished without a trace from her Colorado home. What began as a missing person case quickly unraveled into a chilling tale of online deception and murder. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a mysterious Craigslist ad titled, "I Want to Put a Hit on Myself," and a pizza delivery driver named Joseph Lopez who claimed Natalie had hired him to end her life. The truth behind Natalie's disappearance would prove stranger than fiction, leaving her family devastated and the public questioning the dark corners of the internet. But first, subscribe to our channel for more content, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Natalie Bollinger was, by all accounts, a typical 19-year-old college student. She lived in Broomfield, Colorado with her boyfriend and was attending college on a scholarship, studying to become a registered nurse. Like many young women her age, Natalie was active on social media, frequently updating her Facebook followers about her day-to-day life. However, beneath the surface of her seemingly normal life, Natalie struggled with personal challenges. She had a history of substance abuse, particularly with methamphetamine and heroin. Despite these struggles, Natalie was described by her family as an artist, deeply emotional and passionate, with a love for nature. In December 2017, Natalie made a disturbing post on Facebook about a man named Sean Schwartz, who had been stalking her for 2 years. Natalie had initially befriended Schwartz, who was homeless, offering him rides and support. However, their relationship took a sinister turn when Schwartz developed an obsession with Natalie. Schwartz's stalking became so severe that Natalie had to seek legal intervention, obtaining a restraining order against him just weeks before her disappearance. In her Facebook post, Natalie warned her followers not to engage with Schwartz, describing how he had followed her even when she moved to Virginia. On December 28, 2017, Natalie's boyfriend reported her missing to the Broomfield police. He expressed concern about her recent depressive symptoms and suicidal thoughts. Natalie had left their home around noon that day, leaving her phone behind. Natalie's disappearance immediately raised alarm among her social media followers. Many suspected Sean Schwartz, given their troubled history. However, investigators were cautious about focusing solely on Schwartz, understanding the need for a thorough investigation. Tragically, on December 29, 2017, a hiker discovered Natalie's body in a wooded area near a dairy farm in Adams County, not far from her home. The autopsy revealed that Natalie had died from a single gunshot wound to the head. A 9mm bullet casing was found near her body. Shockingly, the autopsy also revealed a potentially lethal dose of heroin in her system. It was estimated that her time of death was around 12:30 p.m. on the day she went missing. As the investigation progressed, suspicion initially fell on Sean Schwartz. However, investigators soon discovered that Schwartz had an alibi. He wasn't even in Colorado at the time of Natalie's murder. The breakthrough in the case came when investigators obtained Natalie's full phone records. They discovered over 100 messages between Natalie and an unknown number. This led them to 23-year-old Joseph Michael Lopez, a pizza delivery driver. Joseph Lopez and Natalie Bollinger allegedly exchanged over 100 text messages on the night Bollinger was reported missing. These messages were discovered when investigators obtained Natalie's full phone records, which led them to Lopez, a 23-year-old pizza delivery driver. The content of these messages was not fully revealed in the public reports, but they were significant enough to make Lopez a person of interest in the case. According to Lopez's account, their initial contact was made through a Craigslist ad that Bollinger had supposedly posted in the Women Seeking Men section, titled, "I want to put a hit on myself." Lopez claimed he responded to this ad, pretending to be an experienced hired killer. Their text conversation allegedly involved discussions about Bollinger's desire to end her life, including details about how she wanted it to happen. Lopez said they discussed payment and arranged to meet, with Bollinger allegedly specifying that she wanted to be killed on her knees, executed from behind. Lopez picked up Natalie from her home on December 28, 2017. The pair then drove around, allegedly scouting locations where her death was to take place. During this drive, Lopez claimed that Natalie told him she was having issues with her boyfriend and was struggling with her mental health. He also stated that Natalie was dissatisfied with many of the locations they visited. Lopez's account of the actual murder changed multiple times during the investigation. In his final version, he claimed that when they arrived at a wooded area near a dairy farm, Natalie insisted on going through with her plan to die, but he tried to change her mind. Lopez said that before he shot her, they both got down on their knees and prayed together. He then allegedly closed his eyes and fired a single shot, killing Natalie with a bullet to the back of the head. After the murder, Lopez took Natalie's purse and the gun, leaving her body at the scene. Lopez's account of events changed multiple times during the investigation. Initially, he claimed he had picked up Natalie intending to talk her out of suicide, but ultimately drove her home. When confronted with GPS evidence placing him at the crime scene, Lopez changed his story. In his second version, Lopez claimed Natalie had shot herself. However, this was inconsistent with the autopsy findings, which showed Natalie had been shot in the back of the head. Finally, Lopez admitted to shooting Natalie, claiming she had insisted on going through with her plan to die. He described praying with Natalie before closing his eyes and pulling the trigger. Joseph Michael Lopez was arrested and initially charged with first-degree murder. However, in a controversial plea deal, Lopez pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. This deal allowed him to avoid a potential life sentence. Lopez was sentenced to 48 years in prison. If he serves the full term, he will be 71 years old upon release. The plea deal was met with outrage from Natalie's family. Her father, Ted Bollinger, expressed his anger in court, saying, "You took advantage of my daughter. She was vulnerable and drugged. You premeditated, brutally shot and killed my baby. I asked for an eye for an eye. You have been protected. The Bollinger family had no say in this. This is a deal with the devil." Natalie's stepmother, Shelley Campbell, also expressed her dissatisfaction with the plea deal, stating Lopez took her life. He ended it. He had a choice. No matter what anyone says, he pulled that trigger. He had a choice. Despite the conviction, many questions remain unanswered in Natalie Bollinger's case. 1. The Craigslist ad. The existence of the Craigslist ad was never confirmed. It's unclear how Joseph Lopez and Natalie Bollinger initially connected. 2. The source of heroin. The source of the lethal dose of heroin in Natalie's system remains unexplained. 3. Natalie's gun. It's unclear why Natalie had a gun with her while driving around with Lopez. 4. Sean Schwartz's involvement. While Schwartz was cleared of involvement in Natalie's murder, his role in her life and the events leading up to her death remain controversial. Although Sean Schwartz was cleared of involvement in Natalie's murder, he continued to face legal troubles. On January 6, 2018, Schwartz was arrested for causing a disruption at a hospital in Boulder, Colorado. Schwartz was charged with second-degree assault on a peace officer, obstructing a peace officer, and resisting arrest. The incident occurred when police were conducting a welfare check on Schwartz after he made potentially suicidal statements on Facebook. Despite his arrest, Schwartz maintained his innocence regarding his relationship with Natalie. In an interview, he stated, "I told her that if she didn't stop the harassment against me, I would expose people in her family. And that's what prompted her to do it. She's been threatening with a restraining order for over 6 months. I have also been trying to get help for over 6 months. In Virginia, we had a lot of fun. I held her hand once, but that was it. We had no sexual relationship. I was her friend." The loss of Natalie had a profound impact on her family. Her father, Ted Bollinger, expressed his frustration with the justice system and the plea deal offered to Lopez. He stated, "There's no justice in this. And for Adams County to have enough evidence to convict him and then make him an offer is a spit in my family's face." In a tragic twist, Natalie's twin sister, Alicia, also went missing nearly 2 years after Natalie's murder. Fortunately, Alicia was found safe shortly after. The murder of Natalie Bollinger is a tragic tale that highlights the dangers lurking in the digital age. From online stalking to the dark corners of Craigslist, Natalie's story serves as a sobering reminder of the vulnerabilities young people face in today's interconnected world. While Joseph Lopez will serve time for his crime, the full truth of what happened to Natalie Bollinger may never be known. The case leaves behind a grieving family, a community in shock, and a series of unanswered questions that continue to haunt those involved. The case of Natalie Bollinger also raises important questions about the justice system, particularly regarding plea deals in serious crimes. The outrage expressed by Natalie's family over the plea deal offered to Lopez highlights the often overlooked impact these legal decisions have on victims' families.